Well, hello. How are you? Yes. We're so thankful to be in front of living, breathing humans. Well, most of you. But anyway, welcome to Comedy for Good. Folks, we're here at the Salvation Army Red Shield Community Center in the Pico Union area. And this is a great example of the outreach work that the Salvation Army does 365 days a year. And we're so proud to be able to share this with you. This is going to be a night of comedy and philanthropy and laughs and release and hope. And we're so glad you are here. And we have three spectacularly talented comedians to perform for you tonight. This show is going to air on July 8th, and then it's going to air forever on YouTube. And so if you have a good time, and I know you will, you'll drive your friends via social media and phone calls and hand signals to watch on YouTube, and we will get some extra donations that way. I'm just so happy to be here because this whole pandemic has been very ironic for me. I've been going to therapy for 40 years to learn how to not isolate. All of a sudden, here comes quarantine and solitary confinement. All that's missing is an ankle monitor. I feel like I spent the last year locked in the Unabomber's cabin. But I'll tell you, the quarantine was able to cure me of something therapy wasn't, which is my isolating. Now I'm only comfortable in groups, even irritating relative groups. Cousin Bob, how's your borderline personality disorder? Please don't leave me. Anyway, there's never been a greater need for all the services we provide. And here's the ironic part. We can't do our typical, wonderfully successful, live fundraising events like our Keto Kickoff, our Christmas programs, our being out, pressing the flesh, getting to shake people's hands and look into their eyes and thank you for their participation. We can't do that. So we have to help the Salvation Army continue their wonderful programs by raising money through programs like this. And we hope you'll understand the need for that. More about that later. But to open this show is a man, and we're very conflicted about introducing him tonight because he's been reassigned to Hawaii. So sad. But he's been a wonderful man. He's the General Secretary of the Salvation Army Metro Division. Please welcome to the stage for his opening remarks, Major Osei Stewart. Major?
Thank you, Fritz. Can I get some hand sanitizer or no, I'm just kidding. No, that is the day and age that we've been in, haven't we? We've been hand sanitizing and, making sure that we are up to snuff with being clean and friendly and social distance. And I'm not going to try to be a comedian again because I feel like I'm bombing in my jokes. Fritz, I need some help. Well, anyway, I just want to welcome each and every one of you tonight, and this is a great opportunity for us to come together, as Fritz said, to do something such a wonderful thing, a wonderful event for the people that we serve in the LA metro area. Do you know that this past year alone, we met the needs of so many people through the pandemic. It was such a difficult time, as you know. So many lives were impacted, as you know. Even your own lives were impacted, and mine. But you know what? The great thing is that we were able to come together as the Salvation Army across this division. Our board members, our volunteers, our soldiers, our officers really came together to do a wonderful thing. And I think we need to give a round of applause to all of the Salvation Army members, volunteers, advisory board members, friends of the Army, officers. Just give them a really rousing applause tonight for all the great work that they've done. Fritz, I do thank you so much for your comedy and for you hosting tonight and taking us into the lead of this special event. Now, many years ago, maybe 20-something years ago, I worked here at this very center, working with young people who were faced with gangs and drugs and faced with just a difficult life ahead of them. And it just brings me so much joy to be able to be in this place again, to see the lives that are being changed. Let me tell you a little bit about that, because here at the LA Red Shield, we are in the middle of the Pico Union neighborhood of Los Angeles. And our purpose here is to guide and mentor young people and strengthen families by providing educational, recreational, and spiritual programs in a positive and a safe environment. You see, the Salvation Army's Los Angeles Red Shield Youth and Community Center serves more than 4,000 children. 4,000 children. And their parents each year, and this is known as the Pico Union neighborhood, and the Salvation Army is known as an oasis in the midst of this particular neighborhood. And tonight is made possible by some very generous sponsors and supporters. And so I'd like to acknowledge the following. At our Doing the Most Good sponsor level is Bank of America. Let's give them a hand. One of our beloved board members, Kathy Martin. Let's give her a hand. At our Doing the Good sponsor level is Deloitte. Let's give them a hand. And then in our Do-Gooder sponsor level, yes, Doing the Most Good, yes, we're keeping with the theme, Doing Good, and now the Do-Gooder sponsor level, we have Altus Marketing. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. And one of our very own board members and his company, Occidental Entertainment, Craig Darian. Thank you so much. In addition to that, we have board members who support the work of the Salvation Army in such a great manner that every year we get to do some wonderful things because of their great energy and because of their great heart. And I want to recognize board members who have really participated in this as well. And we've got Peggy York and Judge Ito. Let's give them a round of applause. Again, Craig and Kim Darian. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. Our very own Fritz Coleman, round of applause. Lisa Chan Flagg, our development chair. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you. As well as our co-chair for development, Vicki Silverman. Thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much, and God bless you tonight. Enjoy the show. It's going to be wonderful. I can't wait to just laugh out loud. Okay, God bless you.
Thank you so much, Major, and know that we love you and thank you for your service. Now let's get on with the comedy. This beautiful lady's written for television. She's done commercials. She had 3 beautifully reviewed specials on Showtime, and she's got an hysterical YouTube channel. Maybe you'll check it out after the night is over. Please welcome to the stage Monique Marvez. Monique.
I'm in a room full of beautiful people because I can see your whole face. It's so exciting. I forgot I could put on lipstick. I just have gloss, but I can wear red. That's so exciting. It's in my purse. I'll put it on later. So I'm gonna tell you some true things. I'm gonna tell you the truth wrapped in bacon so you'll eat it. You're gonna think it's jokes, but I became a comedian because what got me smacked, divorced, and fired is now paying my rent. So I've been alone during COVID. I've had a whole 14 months. It's like getting a master's in me. It was awesome. And I figured out what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Because the first part of my life, I've been married 3 times. Let me just put that out there. Don't judge me. I like you smiled. You're like, oh, how terrible for you. Like, you didn't judge me. Thank you. It's better to be divorced than plotting someone's death in their sleep, I say. And here's why I'm the happiest girl in the world. Memorize this 58 3/4-year-old face. Memorize it. Happiest girl. Because all it took was a little pandemic to prove I'm a genius. All right? Yeah, for real. Yes. I'm going to tell you what happened, okay? I've been married 3 times, but I'm going to tell you why. It's not my fault. No, it's not. I'm Hispanic and Catholic. I was raised in Miami, the capital of Cuba. Now, I know I look like a middle-aged white woman with good credit, but I'm 100% Latina. I mean, I'm not afraid. I'm parked outside. I don't care. I'll shank somebody if I have to. Yeah, I am. Yeah. When I play comedy clubs, I'll have some condescending 25-year-old guy in Lululemon yoga pants say, like, can I walk you to your car, Miss Marvez? Like, no, Justin, I'm going to walk you to your car. How do you like that? I grew up in Miami in the 80s. I think you need to get behind me, kiddo. You know what I mean? So I just love that I had all this time to contemplate and flip the script and reframe my life and figure out how I did everything right. Because I can't even imagine what it would be like to be married during the pandemic with somebody that you really didn't like anymore. You know what I mean? Like you were just still there because you like the house and you're not ready to leave. And there's a lot of people in that situation. I live in a pretty swanky building. I'm not bragging, but it's nice. And there's some girls that live in my building. I'm not going to name names, but names. But they got married. Let's just suppose you got married last February 14th. And you married a guy you weren't that crazy about, but what a lifestyle. And you're thinking, I'm going to go shopping, and I'm going to eat out in fancy restaurants, and we're going to travel. And 1 month into your marriage, you are stuck in a penthouse, your old husband, and a bottle of Viagra, okay? That is a reality show. I'm not going to fill in the blanks. This is a family show. You can do it when you get home. But you get the point. Like, I got to be all alone, making money, doing Zoom comedy. It was wonderful. I did my hair, makeup, nice top, totally Porky Pig in it. That's a COVID term. I learned a lot. The kids, I have nieces, they teach me everything. And I spy on them on social media. Because it's weird, it's weird when you're locked in, how dependent. You don't realize how dependent you are on the internet and social media and talking to people in different ways that you never had. See, my friends didn't realize their real problems until lockdown. I'm going to tell you what their real problems are. How many people in this room are married? Okay, you're married. Okay. All right. Well, again, those who can't do teach, so listen. I'm going to develop a whole internet course because men have superpowers, all of them. You have special superpowers, I can tell from here. But I'm going to describe them, ladies, so that when you get upset with your man, you can say, thank goodness I saw Monique. Now I know. This is what you're doing. You're flaunting your power, and it's making me angry. So I'm going to tell you the 3 things that men can do that women really struggle. And by struggle, I'm being polite. We can't do it. Number 1, men can genuinely not care. You're not pretending to not care. You don't care. You're just not going to engage in our little female hijinks. When you ask a man, how do you want me to decorate? My friends couldn't sit still. They were doing DIY the whole pandemic, right? They're like, how do you want me to decorate? I know what their husband's thinking, quietly. How about not at all? How about you quit spending money and moving the furniture around? I like this couch. It's very comfortable. Why are you asking me questions? As long as we're talking, I'm a grown man. I'll let you know when I need new underwears, okay? I like the holes. It's ventilation. It takes a long time to get them that soft. Why are you asking me questions? You're going to do whatever you want anyway, woman. Like, that's what he's thinking, but he can't say it, and especially during lockdown, okay? Because he knows he's right there on the couch next to you. But that's what, in fact, I'm going to tell you something. As someone who's been married 3 times, when you ask a man a question, the man is not thinking of the answer to that question. The man is thinking, what can I say that will shut this down? I just want her gone. Like, I just want her, I'm not upset. I just haven't had coffee. It's a little early. She's coming in hot. You know what I mean? She's holding a paper in her hand. That's never good, So men can genuinely not care. And I'm going to explain to the ladies why that's an extra problem for us. And I want you to let this go, okay? Because every woman in this room, however gorgeous and accomplished and just really a good soul, every woman in this room has what I call the demon of not good enough. Every woman in this room thinks she's not enough. I need to cook from scratch. I need to eat organic. I'm gonna start cooking on Sunday, and I'm gonna put the names of the week, and I'm gonna go and I want to be fitter, and I want to decorate my Christmas tree. I'm gonna start dipping pine cones in glue now, and you make your and I think that's one of the reasons that, especially during the pandemic, men and women were at cross purposes, because the women felt like they had to use the time. Like, I've got this time out. I got to do something with it. And the men didn't care. They're like, Tiger King, third time doing it, you know? Don't care. And that's hard. Now, I know that men like it when ladies are amorous. And men say, we have things, we have pills that help us be more amorous. Why can't they invent a pill that would make women more amorous? Well, I'll tell you why. Because if they did, the man would have to take it. You would have to take it 20 minutes before your wife came home from work because the pill would make you care. Your wife would come home from work and she would say, I've had a terrible day at work. And you would say, honey, I'm a little peckish, but it can wait. Why don't you have a seat and tell me everything going on at work? Tell me everything. The whole Joan Kelly war. Don't leave out one single word. This stuff is fascinating. I'm promising you, you would be much happier if you did that. It would go very well. So I've covered caring. Now let me get to the second superpower. Men genuinely forget. Forgive and forget is for chicks. Women hold grudges against people in third grade. Facebook was invented to track people that made you angry in the 80s. Let's be honest. I like when the women laugh and the men go, is that true? Yes. None of this is jokes. I told you that. Wrapped in bacon so you'll eat it. If you're vegetarian, dip it in ranch. If you're vegan, you have no sense of humor. So let me explain forgetting, because it's important. I had the pleasure of working with John Gray, who wrote Mars, Venus, Live. And he said, how do you know so much? And I said, because I keep a journal. And I've made a lot of mistakes. I won't make the same ones. I'll make new ones. So he and I talked, and he said, well, I'm going to give you the actual stuff behind your anecdotes. Women have a whole second floor of memory that men do not have, the hippocampus, emotional memory. Never tell a woman she's overreacting. She'll kill you. Hippocampus. So what happens is that we remember things, and men were not designed to. Do not take it personal if he forgets something. Here's the irony of life. That if you have a wonderful husband, there's a pretty good chance he's a mama's boy. That's how it works. And your mother-in-law doesn't like you. That's how that works. And you're going to have to remember your mother-in-law who doesn't like you's birthday because her baby boy can't remember her birthday. Okay? That's how it is. Look at, you're like, she's psychic. Yes, I read people. No, I love the way you're looking at him. Like, did you give her material before the show? It's going to get better. Buckle up. Because it's true. We remember every little thing. You have to think of a man's mind. See, if we have hippocampus, we have a climate controlled. Their memory is an empty Quonset hut. Well, like open filing cabinets and random things on the floor. And I'm going to tell you what the real problem is. And I'm looking right at you because I think you could use this information. Is that never let a woman get hungry. For some weird reason, women like to eat with their men. So if a woman says, hey, are you getting hungry? She's hungry. She's really hungry. And she's waiting for you to get with the program. If she says, hey, are you really starting to get hungry? She's really hungry. And she wants you to take the hint. Now, if a woman says, should I start dinner? Danger zone. Because what happens is, as a woman's blood sugar drops, she has what I call a witch elevator. And you can change a letter in your mind if you choose. That goes to the second floor of memory and remembers every evil deed you ever committed, okay? And she will not be happy until she starts chewing on something delicious. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm looking right, you just went, I don't even know how marriages could end with Cliff Bars in the world. Just put one in your glove compartment. Just throw it at her. You know what I mean? Don't get close. Just, here, take this, honey. I love you people. The third one is the one you're really going to love. And I think that a lot of marriages break up on Sundays because that's when men and women are at most cross purposes. Because Sunday is when men decide, it's Sunday, and I'm really going to exhibit my superpower. Because the thing that men can do that women can never, ever, ever do is that men can do nothing at all and feel no guilt. I know it's true, ma'am. These are road tested. 3 marriages. I had to pay alimony to the third one. And this is what happens, is that the man is sitting on the couch like a lizard on a rock. They didn't even care during COVID. It's like, oh, there's cutout people in the stands. I don't care. I'm watching. I don't care. I'm watching. And they're sitting there like a lizard on a rock, just watching all day, happy, comfortable, no guilt. If a woman lays down for a second to rest her eyes and dozes off, she wakes up certain she's missed a flight and someone's angry. You know, we just can't. We just can't. So you have your husband, and he can just do nothing on a Sunday. And that's the day that the woman is going to get a jump on the demon. That's the day that she wakes up and writes a list of everything she's going to do that she didn't finish for the rest of the week or the week coming in. She's on it, right? Now, to really describe the difference between men and women, if a woman is home alone, eating lunch, and by eating lunch what I mean is scarfing whatever's about to spoil, you know, because we can't bear to throw it away. So you're just kind of eating like the little bit past the date yogurt. It's got a little wang to it, but it's still mostly strawberry. It's okay, you know, it's okay. And you're eating that yogurt, and you get a little bit on your shirt. A woman home alone will change her shirt. She will not be able to stand home alone, something on her shirt. That very same woman on any given day, particularly Sunday, will look through the kitchen pass-through and see the love of her life watching a game. He only gets up to refill the chips and salsa and use the restroom for hours. And she's running around like a whirling dervish, and here he is. And that man will drop an entire chunk of salsa on his sweatpants. Does he jump up? Does he freak out? Does he run down the hall? No. He does not even divert his eyes from the television screen. He just reaches in the bowl of chips. Thank you. I'm glad you... Yeah, I actually did that on a cruise ship on Super Bowl Sunday, and a man screamed from the balcony, "No point wasting good salsa." And I'm now going to leave you with my 3 best pieces of advice after, a half a century on the planet. Number 1, love hard. Your heart is a muscle. Even if you're loving the wrong person, and I have loved a dazzling array of pinheads and clown men, consider it cardio for your spirit. And when one of you introduces me to your golfing, salmon-eating chip, right here, bottom lip, little sunspot, when you introduce me to your cousin Larry, I'm going to have a good, strong heart. So please keep that in mind. Number 2, forgive harder. Because when you forgive, all your power comes back to you. And the person that wronged you is either feeling really good or really nervous. Like, she's being so cool. Did she really forgive me, or is she up to some ninja revenge? It's kind of a twofer. And number 3, get as happy as you can, as fast as you can. Because there's one thing I learned. It's nobody's job but yours. Thank you, and good night.
Monique Marvez, everybody. That was very, very funny and too real. My knees are buckling. Well, anybody that's ever been to the headquarters of the Salvation Army downtown, or even been as close as here in the Red Shield Community Center, you understand that this is an area where the already pervasive homeless issue is even worse. And there probably is no greater mandate of the Salvation Army than to support those who need help. Many people, it's just a temporary set of circumstances. There was a survey once to decide the most prominent reasons for homelessness. One was mental health, the second was drug addiction, and the third strongest was rent. There are people who are employed who just, hopefully temporarily, don't have a place to live. So the Salvation Army serves their fellow man in so many different ways, from alcohol recovery to temporary shelters. And we have somebody who knows a lot about that. He's Lieutenant Colonel John Chemness, who is the South California Division Commander, here to say a few words. Colonel?
Fritz, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your hospitality and your constant support of the Salvation Army, and for each and every one of you that are here tonight. Thank you so much for being here, for supporting the Salvation Army and our effort to really make a difference and a dent on so many issues that are facing our Angelenos and people across Southern California. So God bless you and thank you for being here tonight. I'm looking for there we are. You know, after such a challenging year, it's great to be here amongst people tonight. I can't even imagine, you know, what it's been like for so many of us that have been locked in our basements and locked in our living rooms as we've waited to come together like this. But despite those challenges, there was really an upside for the Salvation Army, in that we saw so many people come together to help others. For the Salvation Army, it became an opportunity to do what we do best, and that is help people who are in the greatest need. And across Southern California for the past 15 months, Salvation Army officers, employees, and volunteers have stepped up in a significant way, in a huge way, to be there on the front lines to ensure that hungry families had food, to ensure those that were living on the streets found a home, for those that were potentially going to be evicted from their apartment because they couldn't pay the rent. They had to make a choice between food and rent and education for their kids and so many other things, that the Salvation Army stepped in to ensure that they were able to pay their rent. There's such a huge variety of things that the Salvation Army was able to do this past year. Our 45 community centers across Southern California, much like this place, were turned into warehouses of food, where daily people stood on the streets to get that assistance. In fact, this place has been transformed. Several times when we visited this very room, it was a room full of food that had been donated by the community to ensure that the people of the Pico Union had lunch, dinner, and breakfast on their tables. This past year, the Salvation Army, primarily here in Los Angeles or LA County, opened 14 new shelters from our Home Key projects, where we've had over 500 rooms in one single hotel, to down in the South Bay, where we have a hotel with 110, to our newest shelter that we just opened down in Harbor City for 75 individuals, 25 of which are college students. Yeah. Something that I was not aware of, but here in California, 20% of our college students are living homeless. They're couch surfing or living in their cars because they can't afford both tuition and rent. So the Salvation Army in the South Bay is partnering with Harbor College and Joe Buscayano, and we're providing 25 units of housing for homeless college students, which is just a really cool thing. So over this past year, we have served millions of meals. We've housed over, I believe, 1,700 new beds that we've provided to people in Southern California, and we have bigger and bigger plans on the way. So God bless you. Thank you for being here tonight. And remember, when you support the Salvation Army, when you put change in our kettles, when you give your money tonight, it will make a difference in the life of so many people. So God bless you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for your great service, Colonel. We appreciate you so much. And he brought up donations, and I will tell you that if you'd like to make a donation over and above whatever generosity you can muster up tonight, you can go to comedyforgood.org and donate any amount, anytime. And tonight, not only from what you've heard so far from the Major and the Colonel, you'll hear other testimony as to the great work being done by the Salvation Army. Well, this next comedian and I have known one another for a long time and worked together in many clubs, and he is the best. He has performed for troops all over the world. His most interesting topic is the fact that he was a police officer. And he wrote a wonderful book that was a bestseller on Amazon called When the Streetlights Come On. He has a dry bar comedy special. I don't know if you're familiar with those. You can look for it on Google, dry bar specials. Many of the comics have their own specials. His has had 25 million views. Wonderful comic. We're really honored to have him with us tonight. Please welcome Kevin Jordan, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Another hand for Monique Marvez, the fabulous, right there. My goodness gracious. All right, let's see who we have in here tonight. Let's see. All right, apparently. Some of you look guilty. Let me say this first. When I was a little kid, I grew up in New York City, and my mother would take us, me and my brothers and sisters, to Manhattan, to the big Macy's, and they always had a Salvation Army guy out there, the Christmas guy, and the guy would always let me ring the bell. And I thought that was the greatest thing ever, so I just want to thank you guys for that. So we come full circle, absolutely. Here I am. Yeah. So today, we spent the whole day birthday shopping for our 2-year-old grandson. Yeah. He wants an iPad at 2 years old. And the sad part is that when we buy it, he'll be the only one who knows how to operate that thing. You know, all these high-tech toys. We didn't have all these high-tech toys when we were kids. The most high-tech toy we had was Etch-a-Sketch. You play with that game for hours. Hey, what are you making? Stairs. Oh man, I messed up. Hit the delete button. My sister had a toy called a Susie Homemaker Easy Bake Oven. Did you have that? Yeah. Cooked by light bulb. Cook a cake that big with a light bulb. That was high tech. Had 2 little kids on the box staring into the oven, and right above their heads it said, "Watch a cake bake right before your eyes." Yeah, you know why Johnny couldn't read? Because Johnny burnt his retinas out watching that damn cake bake. We had simple toys. Had to use a little imagination with our toys. We had Play-Doh. Ain't nothing more simple than a can of Play-Doh. Pop open a fresh can. Yeah, everybody over 40 knows what a can of Play-Doh tastes like, too. That pink and blue hamburger was a little salty. Yeah. Everything about our generation was better. We had better candy. We had that fashion candy necklace. Little beads on the street, eat some, snap it out, eat some more, let your buddy lick on it, snap it back. Your neck will get all wet with spit and saliva running down. They get that little wax bottle with the juice in it, right? That like that much juice. Ooh, that was refreshing. Walking down the street with your candy cigarette. You ever have a Red Bull 26? Yeah, we didn't eat Red Bull back in our day. We had Pixie Sticks. Yeah, big straw full of sugar. Oh man, I once ran from New York to Connecticut in 10 minutes. Oh, remember this one? Remember those big red wax lips? Remember that one? Yeah. That wasn't a big seller in my neighborhood, but I think we were the last generation to go outside and play. We went outside and played and ran around till the street light came on, and that was a signal for everybody to go in the house. Every game we played was a running game. Hide and go seek was a running game. Tag was a running game. Some days you step out the house, you in the middle of the game, you didn't even know you was playing. You ever played cootie stick? Remember that? You didn't play that? Someone would find a nice long stick like this, and they rub it around in a little dog crap like that. And then they chase you all over the neighborhood with that thing. You step out the house, somebody would yell, "Cootie stick! Cootie stick! Ah! Ah! Ah!" Every game we played was a running game. RCK, where you from? Here, right here, in the building? This your living room? How's that work? Los Angeles? Okay. You ever play cootie stick? They play cootie stick in Los Angeles? I mean, it's been 15 months. You ever play RCK? You ever play that? Girls run, and you chase them. If you could catch one, you could kiss her. RCK, run, catch, and kiss. Yeah. You know what you learn playing that game? The cute girls are really, really fast. Because all the ugly girls run down the street. Oh, I fell. Oh. I always fall in this game. You just run up on them. Oh, excuse me, gotta go. My neighbors have 2 children. They have a 9-passenger minivan for 2 children. They have 6 TVs in a 9-passenger minivan. I always tell them, why don't you put 2 more TVs on the lawn so they don't miss anything as they walk up into that car. Now, if you got kids, you're gonna have kids, you need a car like my father had. And my father had the biggest car ever made in American history. A brand new 1967 Ford LTD country Squire station wagon. Big car. So big, didn't even have wood paneling on like most station wagons. Had 2 full gold redwoods that strapped to each side. Now my mother sat up front. My mother and father sat up front. My brother, my sister, my brother, they sat in the middle. And then way in the back, in that seat that faced in the other direction, this was my chair. Anywhere we ever went, any trip we ever took, this is where I had to sit. The only time I knew where we was going is when we backed out the driveway. Are we there yet? That was my job. Any trip we ever went on, it was my job every 5 minutes to ask, are we there yet? No! Quit asking! Well, how the heck am I supposed to know? I can still see the house up there. Now, every trip my father took us on, we had to go see America. Every 2 weeks out of every summer, go see America. Get out there on the open roads, get out on those super highways, people waving to me all the damn time. Now, up there with my brother and sisters where they had all sorts of games to play with. Coloring books, connect the dots, toys, puzzles, all sorts of things to do up there. I was back here with my father's tools. Had to make up things to play with. Hey, here's a roll of Dad's good tape. Boy, I bet I can have a lot of fun playing with that. What are you doing back there? You know, we used to go to the drive-in movie theater a lot. The whole family be watching Bambi by Disney. I'm watching Bambi and Eddie. Yeah, like Fritz said, I used to patrol this area. Well, I didn't. My wife patrolled this area. I was a Los Angeles police officer for 5.5 years. Van Nuys Division, 23705. So, you know what's amazing? As soon as I quit being a cop, they had the Rodney King scandal, OJ scandal, Chief Star Gates scandal, Rampart Division scandal, and the Gang Division scandal. All that happened after I quit. Who knew I was the glue holding that whole damn department together? And being a cop, just like being in the military. Academies like boot camp, get up every morning and sing those running songs. Up in the morning with the rising sun. Run all day to run and dawn. I hated that. If you're a policeman, we should have been singing songs like, running around this gymnasium floor. We're out of donuts, going to get some more. I worked patrol. Patrol is the backbone of the department. I had a female partner when I worked patrol. I had a female partner, 5'1", 110 pounds. That's it. Now I'm only 5'4", 140. We got out of the car. We looked like the Munchkins from The Wizard of Oz. We used to walk up to the side of a car. We represent the alley ding ding, the alley ding ding, the alley ding ding. Get back in the car and drive away. I wanted to be a motorcycle cop. That's what I wanted to be. That's the coolest job. Get to wear the mirror sunglasses, them big black sexy boots, drive around all day on a Harley Davidson. Man, what a job. But to be a motorcycle cop in Los Angeles, you have to be able to straddle the bike and have both feet reach the ground. And I couldn't do that. Put me on bicycle detail. That's even worse. You can't arrest anybody on a bicycle. Hey, you're under arrest. Get in the basket. Ching, ching. I just got married 2 years ago. My wife is a retired homicide detective. Yeah, she's serious. So when we moved in together, she brought all her stuff, all her furniture, because I didn't have any furniture because I didn't care. But she brought all her furniture, and she brought her weapons. She brought her 9 and her backup weapon. She hid them in the house. And I said to her one day, "Hey, where's your guns?" She goes, "You don't need to know." I go, "What if something happens?" She goes, "Well, it's only going to happen to you." Yeah. We're still in that play, because we're still honeymooners technically. So every morning, like we like to put little love notes on the mirror. Like today, I put on there, "You make every day brighter." I thought that was cute and sexy. And she wrote back to me, I can make a homicide look like an accident. I think she was angry. Yeah. I did some cool things on the department. Coolest thing I ever did was deliver a baby. Ever deliver a baby? Awesome. You know, this is a true story. A woman, her water broke, so she called her husband to come get her. He don't show up. So she tried to drive herself to the hospital, right up Van Nuys Boulevard. And she panicked and pulled into a 7-Eleven. Somebody saw my cruiser coming by. They flagged me in, had to turn around, come back in, and deliver a baby in a 7-Eleven. Got my name in the LA Times and everything. Let me tell you something. So, yeah. Don't applaud to hear us, sorry. You work for LAPD, they just assume you know how a baby's born. You know, they don't show you a video, no puppet show, nothing. I ain't never seen a baby born before. I thought a baby would pop out and maybe in a blanket pop out with him. There's a lot of things that come out of there with that baby. I thought she was having twins. I was like, you know, one of them looked like you. And the other one, you're going to have to love special because he's ugly. I'm telling you, that's an ugly child. Oh, my God. So here's the best part. So then when the EMT came and took her to the hospital, when she pulled into 7-Eleven, she pulled into a handicap slot. So I wrote a card ticket and had it towed away. That's it for me. I got to get out of here. Thanks for having me. Thanks for everything you do. Good night.
Kevin Jordan, everybody. I'll give you an amazing statistic. The Salvation Army during the pandemic gave away 1 million food boxes. And you're going to learn a little bit more about that inspirational program and so much more from the General Secretary of Program Development, and she is Major Lynn Stewart. Please come. Please.
Thank you, Fritz. It's so good to get an actual hug. I've missed hugging, right? Are you guys enjoying yourselves so far tonight? I am having a wonderful time, and it feels so good to just laugh out loud. And thank you so much, Monique and Kevin. For a moment there, my sides were hurting so bad. I was just laughing, but it feels good to be together and to laugh. Well, you know, you've heard a lot tonight about the wonderful work that the Salvation Army has been doing in the LA metro area, and I am so pleased to share with you more information about the wonderful things that happened during the pandemic and in doing the most good. During the pandemic, we were able to help those who were new to poverty, our friends and neighbors who had previously been employed but lost their livelihood when everything shut down. And we remember that, don't we? Many of these people did not know where to go for help because they had never needed it before. They had their very basic needs, food, diapers, and fortunately, we were there to help them meet those very basic needs. Now that we are coming out of the pandemic, woohoo! I believe there's hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Now that we're coming out of the pandemic, jobs are coming back, that's true, but it will take a little while for folks to get back on their feet, and we know that to be true as well. These are families with children, single parents, and seniors who are still and will be still struggling. Did you know that we increased meal delivery to seniors by 300% over the last year? Yeah. These deliveries weren't just a meal. They looked forward to someone looking out for them, checking on them. Our drivers and volunteers gave hundreds of seniors something to look forward to. And sometimes their only meal was the meal that they received that day. Our neighbors need you. And thank you for helping us, and thank you for helping them.
Well, our next performer has been a friend for a long time, just one of the fastest and funniest people. He's written for television shows, he's written movies, And his claim to fame is not only a wonderful dry bar special, which you can also find on Google, but he is the preeminent, the top sitcom warm-up guy in Southern California. I'm telling you, this is an acquired skill where it's like nude hang gliding. You really have to know what you're doing, and he is a master and a really wonderful guy, and we're so glad he's here tonight. Robert G. Lee, everybody.
Never heard it described as nude hang gliding. Thank you for that. Well, isn't tonight inspiring? Yeah. This is amazing. Now, they talked about how many meals. I just found out that you served 225 million meals last year. And it was closer to 226 million, but one guy kept going back for seconds, so they had to round it down. And if they don't do that, you're taking kids, putting them in camp, and then you're doing after-school programs. You are taking children off their parents' hands. There is a place in heaven for you. Thank you so much for that. That is just wonderful. If you're not doing that, you're picking up crappy furniture and you're selling it, and you're using the proceeds to help the homeless. You guys are amazing. So if you're watching at home, open your wallets. Whatever falls out, send it in. You don't deserve it. They do. Give them money. And I was tempted to join many years ago. I really was. But I heard boot camp was really, really tough. It really is. Like, what is the greatest commandment? Private. To love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, love your neighbor as yourself. Sir, that is right. Now grab those kettlebells and give me 5 in full uniform. You did that cadence, Kevin. I'm doing the same thing. It's like, I don't know if you've been told, souls are bought but never sold. Love your neighbor, love the Lord. Wield the Bible, not the sword. Sound off God's plan, sound off, not man. God's plan, not man. Love God. Amen. Anyway, that's the way I think it should go. It's just a thrill to perform in front of people whose job it is to help other people. That is just fantastic, because my job is to amuse them. You win. It's like, now, I love what I do. And I will never forget, in 6th grade, my teacher told me I could never make a living as a smart aleck. So every year I go back home to Indiana, I call her up, I tell her how much I make, I laugh, I hang up. That's what I do. She's in a nursing home. She has no idea who I am. But it just feels good to do it. And before COVID, we were allowed to go out. I did these kind of events all the time. I did one for DARE. I'm sure you know it stands for Drugs Are Really Exciting. It's a horrible title. I don't know how they get funding. I really don't. But they asked me to pray before the meal, but they said, well, but we're a government-sponsored organization, so you can't mention any particular deity's name. It's like, well, all right. And so it's your gig. I'll pray. But I'm praying, and I realize in the middle of it, I have no idea how to get out of this prayer. So it's just getting longer and longer and longer. And finally, at one point, I just stopped and said, we pray these things in your name. Hopefully you know who you are. Now, of course, everybody's going through COVID, and we're coming out of it in our own special way, and I understand everybody had their own experience. Mine was a little bit different than yours, in that I'd been married, and I was stuck in captivity for a year with the same, and I love my wife, I do. But a year with the same prayer. It's like after a while I noticed last summer she started reading a lot of murder mysteries. I noticed that. I know she started asking me questions like, how much life insurance do we have on you? What medicines are you allergic to specifically? About every other day she'd come up and say, knock, knock, who's there? You! You're always here. How could I miss you if you won't go away? That was we did fun stuff, I will admit. We did a lot of fun things. One thing we did, I don't know how many movie fans we have out there. What else could you do during COVID? We just watched old movies. That's all we did. And what we discovered was all these old movies from the 30s and 40s, every single actor went to the same school of over-enunciation. You just watch these movies, they go, Charles, I don't know how we're going to avoid disaster. Really, I don't. Whatever shall we do? And that was a cowboy from Texas. They all talked exactly the same. And then The Godfather came out, and Marlon Brando started the whole mumbling epidemic. I was like, oh my God, I never wanted this for you. People in the audience like, what did he say? I think he said Michael's a Jew. There's a twist. I didn't know that. I would love, after watching all these, I would love to see classic movie stars in today's movies. I think it'd be so much fun. Like Humphrey Bogart would be. I would love to see him in Dirty Dancing. I was like, nobody puts baby in a corner. I would love to see Lou Costello in The Sixth Sense. I see dead people on first base. I would like to see Katharine Hepburn in Star Wars. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, our only hope. I would like to see Cary Grant in Jaws. We're going to need a bigger boat. Now, the reason I bring that up is because it doesn't work the other way around. Today's stars could not work in the old movies. Like Owen Wilson would be horrible in Frankenstein. It would never work. It's like, oh, wow. It's alive. No, calm down. I'm just saying, it's alive. And any Kardashian would be horrible in Gone with the Wind. After all, tomorrow is another day. Now, I love this because, obviously, I watch old movies and I grew up with those things, and I'm old. I mean, it's obvious. That's where I am. I'm now officially, I've crossed that line into old. And it freaks me out because I had just accepted middle-aged. And I woke up one morning and realized I was looking at the ghost of Christmas future. And it freaks me out because, see, we all go through puberty pretty much the same time. I think we have, you get the occasional hormonal girl who blossoms in third grade. I get that. But the rest of us, we're on the same schedule. You know, it's like one day you're going to school, you're talking like Mickey Mouse. It's like, teacher, I have a question. And by third period, you sound like Darth Vader. I think the lack of a curve on this test is disturbing. But old age, no, it hits everybody different. You're like a car, and you don't know what part's going to go first. It's like you get out of bed, and your fender falls off. You don't know what happened. It's like, and you find you're leaking fluid, and your seat has fallen, and your suspension is gone, and your muffler must be shot because you're backfiring way more than you used to. And every time I complain about, my wife says, well, you could be a woman and have headlights that are no longer set on high beams, so you should be grateful for what you have. We were out walking the other day, just walking, and my thigh started to hurt. It's like, my thigh. It's like, what? Do I need a thiectomy? What happened here? My thigh. And I'm walking around and go, yeah, Luke, I need a new leg. So I always tell young people, be grateful for what you have, because one day you'll wake up, you'll be doing Walter Brennan impersonations, and no one will know who he is. So I had to go to the doctor, check things out, and I'm at that point of life where my doctor doesn't even look me in the eye. He just goes right below the waist. That's what he does. Like, hello, I'm up here. Hello, I'm here. He said I had to exercise more, and so I started swimming. And if you've had this experience, my wife and I joined a gym where there is an aqua aerobics class of elderly people they got in the water. They don't have the strength to get out. They're there all the time. It's like swimming through the hippo dance of Fantasia. That's what it's like. It's like a sea of dancing prunes. It's like this is where you pray for your goggles to fog up because you're just like, oh. So that's aging. It happens to all of us, and we have to get over it. The good news right now for me, I'm at that stage of life where my son is getting married in 2 weeks. We're very excited about that. That's one of those, all right. Third time's a charm. Tried 3 different times during COVID. Finally, next Friday, it's actually going to happen. It's amazing. And the lovely girl, love her. She's wonderful. But I told him when he met her, I said, I don't care. I don't care how pretty she is, how smart she is. Is she fertile? That's all I care about. That's the only thing I care about because I want grandchildren badly. I want grandchildren. I'm dying for it, and my son will not give it to me but he's going to get married, and I just can't wait for that. And so he asked me before he got married, what advice do you have? And it's like, all right, how do you? My wife and I have been together for almost 40 years, and how do you figure? I know it's a wow. It is. She's still there. But it's like we do not forgive and forget. We don't. We just go straight to forget. That's what we do. It's like, I'm mad at you. Can't remember why. Our dinner time conversation has begun to resemble congressional hearings. That's the only way I can put it. It's like, I have no recollection of the altercation under discussion. I can neither confirm nor deny my participation in those events. Please pass the peas. That's pretty much where we are. Now, my wife is a marriage and family therapist. Oh, yeah. Imagine that combo platter. Yeah. I feel your pain. I laugh at your pain. That's kind of a... That's where it's just an odd thing. It really is. People say, how do you deal with it? And it's like, it's great. I mean, she can't leave me because it'd be bad for business. So it's like, I can do whatever I want. It's like, Honey, I didn't take out the trash, but I don't smoke crack. Who's looking good? Who's looking good? All right, we'll move on from that one. That's okay. A little touchy on the Salvation Army thing. Okay, don't do that. I tell everybody that my wife sits on the front lines of the biggest conflict that ever hit this world. It is not cage match wrestling. It is not football. It is the fight between the sexes that will defeat any argument, any conflict you've ever seen. My wife on the front lines every day at her job. In this corner, weighing in at 200 pounds, with a record of 3,000 straight losses, is the man. In this corner, weighing in at an undisclosed weight. That is not her fault due to a low metabolism and 3 pregnancies, is the woman. The woman will not tell the man while they're in the ring tonight. If he does not know, that is his problem. Here are the rules. The man, being the physically stronger of the two, is not allowed to use his strength against the woman. He must use it to protect her. The woman, being the more verbally agile of the two, is allowed to rip the man to shreds, which is absolutely fine because the man will not understand for up to 3 days later, in which time he'll demand a rematch and lose again. If the man upsets the woman in any way, he must apologize. If the woman upsets the man in any way, the man must apologize. These are the rules, folks. Now remember, as the good book says, do not go to sleep on your anger, which means the man cannot sleep until he dies. You love each other, don't forget that, and fight. And that is it. I'm Robert G. Lee. I hope you had a good time. Give your money to the Salvation Army. Thank you so much. Fritz, bring us home and make some money.
Robert G. Lee, everybody. Robert G. Lee. He wants grandchildren so bad, I got a couple. They're wonderful. I have a grandson in pre-K, and it's a private pre-K because it's very important for a 4-year-old to have a private school education for in the neighborhood of $20,000 a year. Not my decision. I'm only paying for it. But what makes me mad about it is they've been on Zoom for the whole year. They've been online, but they don't reduce the tuition. So every morning at 9 o'clock, Grandma and I have to coerce this little boy into his seat with a handful of Skittles and a taser so he can go, itsy bitsy spider, on Zoom for 20 minutes for 20 grand a year. That's not right. Come on, President Biden. How about a free tuition for entitled preschoolers program? Before you get into all that infrastructure stuff, help a brother out. First of all, give our comedians a round of applause. Robert G. Lee, Kevin Jordan, and the painfully honest Monique Marvez. Very funny. Thank you for joining us tonight, guys. It's never been more necessary for those of us that support the Army programs to really step up. Please tell your friends that you had a great time tonight. Again, these are untoward circumstances for the Army. Our hope is, our wish is, that in 2022 we can get together for our typical holiday kickoff luncheon at the Biltmore and elsewhere and see you in person and tell you how much we love you and appreciate the great work you do for the Salvation Army. If you'd like to make a donation beyond tonight, go to comedyforgood.org, direct your friends there, and watch us on YouTube. Thank you very much.
I'm Steve Sletton, and I currently am privileged to serve as chair of the Salvation Army LA Metro Division Advisory Board. Thank you for joining us for Comedy for Good. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate your support for the Salvation Army. A big thank you to Fritz Coleman and to our comedians who worked hard to bring this program to you. I hope you've been inspired by what you have seen to help the Salvation Army support those in our community who just need a helping hand. Your contributions will go directly to the many critical programs in the Los Angeles area sponsored by the Salvation Army. So thank you for helping us help others. Have a wonderful evening.